Hi guys, welcome back to Azan Family. Today I'm going to be making a cute little octopus plushie out of crochet out of yarn. The first thing you're going to want is, of course, some yarn, the corresponding hook, and scissors, and if you'd like, a stitch marker. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make a magic loop with your yarn. So get your yarn. The easiest way to make a magic loop is put the yarn palm forward and the loose end of the yarn forward. Then yarn over, bring this, cross it over like that. So it makes an X. Then you're gonna turn your hand over, get your hook, put it under the first yarn, then hook the second, flip your hand, pinch the two lines, you could say, and stitch one. Okay? You could slow down the video, speed it up whenever you'd like. The second thing you're going to want to do is make 6 stitches inside your magic circle. How you're going to do that is put your hook under the circle, yarn over, put the circle above, yarn over once again, and pull through 2. You're going to do that 5 more times. Okay, now that we've got 6 stitches inside the circle, you can pull the loose end tight so that your circle is nice and closed. Okay, next thing you're going to want to do is stitch 2 single crochets in one hole. So put your hook in the first stitch, then yarn over, so there's 3, pull through 1, so there's 2 loops, then yarn over again and pull through both, and then find the exact same hole you used and pull through, yarn over, 2 loops, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And this is where you could get your stitch marker and mark the stitch you just made. And now you can continue adding 2 stitches in each stitch. And I'll do that now. So I'm going to do the last stitch in front of you once again. You're going to put it through the first 2 loops, right there, and then you're going to yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over once again, and pull through 2. Now, take the stitch marker out and stitch 1. 1 stitch, simple, a single crochet. Next, you're going to mark that stitch. And now I am going to make the next and last stitch in front of you guys. So put it through the loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through two. Now take the stitch marker out and stitch one. Now mark that stitch with your stitch marker. Mark the stitch you just made. And now you want to do single crochet all around. So put your hook through the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. And again, yarn over, pull up a stitch, and yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. And you can continue doing so now. Okay, we're going to do the last stitch together, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through two. Take your stitch marker out, make another single crochet, mark that stitch, and for your stitch marker you can use whatever you have laying around. Before, I used to use a bobby pin. People on YouTube use, actual stitch markers, little keychains and everything. I just use a clip. Now, for rows 4 and 5, first thing you're going to want to do is flip it inside out, so that the loose end is inside. Okay? Now, you're going to do single crochet for the next 2 rounds, for row 4 and row 5. So, put your hook through the yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through. And you could continue doing so. I apologize for if you see any hair flying in the camera view. I am not wearing a hair tie, although I have it on my arm. Okay, so I'm just about to finish row 4. So now I'm starting row 5, pull out the stitch marker, add another stitch, mark the new stitch, and continue making another row of single crochets. So obviously, octopuses have 8 legs. First thing we are going to be doing, since we're obviously making the legs first, you're going to want to make 7 of these little legs. You're going to make 7 of these little tiny cute little legs. And obviously some of them are going to turn out a little bit better than the others, some of them are going to turn out a little bit worse. You could do it again or you could not. Now, to pull out your stitch marker and flip it back. I have some imperfections of my yarn, but that's okay. So now, the first thing, sorry I keep saying the first thing. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is get your scissors and cut a small bit of yarn, a weavable amount of yarn. Let's throw the next part away. Okay, so now that you have it cut, you can pull it through and pull it nice and tight. You can put your hook to the side, along as your stitch marker to the side. And so now, first thing you're going to want to do, next thing, I apologize, goodness, is weave this in. So you could use a needle or your fingers. I just use my fingers. So you see the coming stitch in row 4. You're gonna make a little hole like that. I have 2 little yarn lines in front. Pull the yarn through, so it's like that. Pull it tight, and basically just weave it through the current one you just made. So the last one you made of row 5, before snipping your yarn, weave the yarn through that once. Goodness, this yarn keeps leaving fuzz babies. Basically, yarn it through whatever, it's okay, whichever places you put it through. I'm putting it through. And it's a little hard too. Goodness. Alright, now that you've weaved it in with your tail at the bottom, you can use the tail part, and if you've got a hole like me, then you can weave this in to cover the hole. And if you don't have a hole in it and you were able to pull your magic loop, magic circle, whatever you prefer to call it, if you were able to pull it nice and tight, then you can obviously leave this little bottom weaving part. Okay, now that we have the bottom sealed and your cute little tentacle, you can flip it back inside out to whichever side you prefer and keep the loose end of the string inside for now. Now what you're going to want to do is make 7 of these. As I said before, make 7 of these little cups, little tentacle, little legs. And for your 8th leg, I do not want you cutting the yarn. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so since we've got all our stuff, I don't know why my pencils are. Okay, but we have been making our 8th still attached leg. It's still attached to the yarn. Do not cut it. Okay, we do not want it to be cut. We're going to pull a long loop, just like that. And you can pull your hand through so it doesn't get locked. So pull a nice long loop, put your finger through, and count the 6th stitch. So starting from the one we just made, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Get your stitch marker, and mark that stitch. The number 1 rule while making anything is mark that stitch. Now you can pull back to the normal size and grab a single leg, you could call it. So a single leg we've got right here. And you're going to want to find the place where you wove it in. So I got it right here. Now, what you're going to want to do is pull it through that. Yarn over and basically make a single crochet. Sometimes it's a little hard to pull through. Okay. Now, what you want to do is, so what I'm doing right now is I am stitching my two legs together. And how I'm doing that is I am putting my hook through the first stitch. I'm making a single crochet, and I'm doing that to 6 stitches. So I'm going to do the last one in front of you, okay? So pull it through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. So now your 2 legs are together. Hold on. Now that your 2 legs are together, you see that? It's nice. They're two little legs. Alright. Okay, the next part is super duper easy, alright? So, what you're going to want to do is grab the next leg, find where you wove it in, pull through make a single crochet. And you're going to do that for all of the next legs. So it will end up in a cute little line. Your legs are going to be in a line. Yeah, maybe they're going to be falling, but that's alright. And you see my stitch marker, it's here. Leave it there. For now at least. So I want you to keep adding 6 single crochets in your legs. So 1, 3, 4, 5, and your 6th one. Turn over, pull through. Now, what you want to do is get your next leg and do the exact same thing. Find where you wove your hole in and yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through again. So keep doing that with all your legs, every single one. They look like little blueberries, but you're going to want to do that for all your legs. And I'll get back to you when I finish adding every single little leg in this little train of legs. Okay, so now that we've got all our legs all together in a nice little line, we're going to put it in a nice little circle. And you see where we have our stitch marker? We're going to take our stitch marker out. Keep an eye on that stitch, the stitch we've put the stitch marker in. We're going to make a single crochet. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're going to make a single crochet. And then we are going to do this. We're going to stitch 6 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, so we've got 6 stitches and our beautiful 8 legs, all in a cute little circle, waiting for its head. It's so cute, it looks like a bunch of blueberries. Anyways, okay, now we're just gonna do something incredibly simple, and all we're gonna do is have our legs obviously set like so. So it looks like a little star. It looks nice because the holes are sideways, right? So we put our leg and we've made it sideways. Now what you're going to want to do is, you see this line we made, the back part connecting all of the legs together? We're going to use the back stitch, the back yarn, and we're going to single crochet in all 48 stitches. Okay, so just simple, really simple. The back stitch. Let's go nice and close to the camera. And you can't really see properly with this color of yarn. So you might want to have a look at that. So put it through the back loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, 2. And obviously keep doing so until you finish the 48, until you finish the row. Okay, so now I have finished adding the 48 stitches. So now what you want to do is an invisible decrease, which is what you would do when you obviously want to do an invisible decrease. But so how you're going to do an invisible decrease is you're going to get the front loop of the first stitch. So now you have 2. And then the front loop of the next stitch. So now you have 3. You're going to yarn over, pull through the 2 front loops. You have 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. So there is your invisible decrease. You're going to want to mark that stitch. Mark the invisible decrease stitch. Okay, so now you're just going to continue doing the invisible decreases for your octopus. And we will have 24 stitches in total. So we will do that, and I will get back to you when finished. Okay, so we've got our legs, the underside that we are currently working on. Alright, so we've got, I don't know, can you see? Yeah, okay. So now we've got our stuff. So we're gonna unclip our stitch marker, and what we're gonna do for our next row is do a single crochet, pull through, mark that first stitch, do another single crochet, and now we're going to do an invisible decrease. Alright? So pull through and yarn over and pull through. So we're going to do a single crochet, invisible decrease all around. So I'll do it once more in front of you guys before turning the camera off and doing it alone. Single crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, pull, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And now the invisible decrease, front row first, and the second front row loop, pull through the first 2 front loops, yarn over, and pull through 2. We're going to keep doing that over here. Now, you should have something looking like this. So, the legs and the underside with a small little hole big enough to fit this. Alright. And if it's smaller, that's fine. If it's bigger, that's also fine. Now you're gonna unclip your stitch marker, and make a single crochet, mark that stitch with your stitch marker, and make an invisible. With this yarn it's really invisible, but make an invisible decrease, yarn over, pull through. And so that's what you're going to want to do for the next couple rounds, for the next circle. So we're going to do a single crochet and an invisible decrease, single crochet, invisible decrease, and so on and so forth. Single crochet, invisible decrease, single crochet, invisible decrease, single, oh, I lost my stitch marker. Nope, got it right here. You're gonna want a stitch marker if you don't already have one, because as you can see, you basically really need your stitch marker, and especially in amigurumi. I think that's how you spell it. And an invisible decrease. Alright, now our hole is incredibly small. Do you see that? It's super duper small. It's adorable. And this is basically our underline. Alright? Our underside, sorry. Now, for the final row, we are going to do a invisible decrease for the entire time. So the front loop of the first two, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. You obviously mark that stitch and continue doing so. So the first front loop, and in the second stitch, the first front loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, and pull through two. Our octopus has started to form its bottom shape, which is very amazing, and it's kind of like a sort of motivation. Oh no, I lost my two. But it's kind of like a motivation. You know, when you see your project coming alive, you know, it's very nice to see it working. One more, and then we will be finished with the underside. Oh goodness, I can't even. And the second one, pull through, run over, pull through. Yay, look at that. Let's take the stitch marker out. Alright, look at that. Wow. That's beautiful. It's not even anything like big. You know, this would be a really good snack table. Like, just shove a bunch of snacks inside here. It'd be super cool. Now, the stitches we have done just now, the stitches we just did now, the invisible decrease, were 6 stitches. Alright? So now your circle, your underside is completely filled. No holes, no gaps. Perfect. Alright, so this is where you want your scissors, and you're going to cut a decent amount of yarn and pull through and pull it nice and tight. Now, what you're going to want to do is weave this little piece in the bottom, the back loop of your yarn. Nice, beautifully. And you can weave it until your yarn has disappeared, like I am doing. Or if you wish, you could, oh goodness, it's stuck in this one. You could finish weaving your end little loop in your 6 stitches, and you could snip it when it's done. I think I'm just gonna snip it after I pull it through here. Alright, so it's nice and tight. And I'm going to cut it. And wow! We have got our amazing little base for the octopus. Now I'll show you with the remainder amount of yarn that I've got the little head we're gonna make, because I'm sure we'd love to see that. Alright, so I'm just trying to reshape the ball nicely for you guys. So this is what it's gonna look like. Well, obviously nicer. It's going to be a cute little octopus, and if you want, we could have some eyes and a little mouth and some quite little cheeks. So if you want your face, if you want a face to your octopus, then you're going to want safety eyes, which you could go to your local craft store and I'm sure they'd have little safety eyes. Safety eyes, and you need light pink yarn for your cute little kawaii cheeks, and then you're going to want black yarn for the mouth of the octopus. So that's just the face and the small little amount of extra stuff you're going to need, and I'll tell you what we need to do next. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is we're working on the top side of the legs. So with our beginning, you know, the front side. So this is the back side of the yarn, of the octopus, sorry, and this is the side we're working on. Okay, so now we're going to look at the 6th stitch on each leg. So obviously there's going to be little half stitches on each side. We're going to ignore those. We're going to look at the first, not the first 6. We're going to look at the 6 stitches in the middle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to put your hook through that and hold on a second. Okay, so now what we're going to do is get our yarn. Can't find the beginning of my yarn, my goodness. Oh my god. Okay, now what we're going to want to do is make a slip knot out of the yarn. Make a slip knot. Put the knot through the hook. Pull it nice and tight. And we're going to pull the hook, pull the slip knot through the first hook we had. So now there's newly attached yarn on your legs. Okay, now you're going to get your scissors and you could trim the little tail you have of your yarn. You could trim it and there's your tail. Now we're going to yarn over. We're going to chain 1 and we are going to now with our stitch marker we are going to mark that stitch we just made. So we've marked our stitch, and now we are going to crochet 5 more stitches on this leg. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright. Now, what we're going to do is, you see the half stitch we've got right there? Right here. We're going to use the front loop of it, and we're going to make a invisible decrease. So all these little gaps you see here, we're going to add a little one single invisible decrease. So we're going to start the invisible decrease on one leg and end it on another. So we've got it on the front of this leg, and now we're going to find the front of the other and yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through again. So we're going to do 6 stitches here. This little gap right here, we're going to do the invisible decrease, 6 stitches, invisible decrease, and so on and so forth. Alright, now that we've got this small bit of our octopus ready, we are going to unclip the stitch marker, and we are going to do a decrease or invisible decrease, whichever one you prefer is fine. Now you're going to stitch 5 here, and then you're going to do, again, any sort of decrease. So it could be an invisible decrease or a normal decrease. Again, mark that stitch. The stitch we just did, you're going to mark that. So we're going to do 5 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now the part we're working on right now is not going to be seen properly in the octopus. So that's why it doesn't matter whichever decrease you want to do. I am just doing an invisible decrease. And again, if your hook just unhooks like mine just did, you can obviously pop it through the hoops again. And we're going to do so until we finish that round. So 5 stitches, any sort of decrease, 5 stitches, any sort of decrease, so on and so forth. Alright, now that we've got that, we are going to do a decrease every single stitch around. So we're going to take the stitch out, stitch marker out, and we are going to do into 1 stitch, and you're going to pull up a loop, and you're going to go into another stitch, and you're going to yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so that's how you're going to do a decrease, a normal decrease for every single stitch. We're going to mark that stitch, and we're going to do a normal decrease all around. I'll show you once more. So into 1 stitch, into the next, and you've got 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. And that's how you're going to do it all around. Your octopus should be coming to a close now. And so to finish this little row, we're going to take the stitch marker out. And we are going to do a simple single crochet and mark. Alright, so we just put our stitch marker through the single crochet that we have just created. Okay, we are going to do another single crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to do a decrease. So from the first stitch and the second stitch, we've got, we're going to get it from our first stitch, yarn over, and we're going to get it from our second stitch, yarn over, and we're going to pull through all of it. So we're going to do a single crochet, and then a decrease, single crochet, and a decrease all around. So we're going to do 2 single crochets and 1 decrease. So I just finished 2 single crochets. Now I'm going to do a decrease. So we're going to do that all around until we reach the stitch marker. Okay, now that we have finished this row, we are going to make a nice big little loop over here. Do you see? Nice big loop. We're going to take our hook out. We're going to take our stitch marker out as well. And then we are going to pop our stitch marker through that nice big hoop we made. And we're going to pull that like so. So now we have our stitch marker through one of the yarn loops. And now we are going to get our stuffing. And we are going to stuff the legs only. None of this middle part, only the legs. So you're going to get your, let's zoom out. We're going to get the stuffing, any sort of cotton, anything you could use as stuffing. Go ahead and use that, and we're going to stuff our legs. And only our legs. So we've got some nice stuffing here. We're going to shove it in the leg. Like that. And we're going to do that for all the legs. Every single leg will have stuffing inside. Alright? And again, only the legs. None of this middle section here should be covered or be with foam. I will get back when I finish putting the stuffing inside. Alright, now we are going to take our stitch marker out and we are going to put our hook through that loop. If we can find it. Alright, and we can pull that tight once your hook is inside. Alright, we're starting the body now. So this is what it should look like with stuffing in each of the legs. We're going to do a single crochet and we are going to mark that single crochet. We're going to do another single crochet. Now we're going to do an increase. So if you don't know what an increase is, we're going to do a single crochet, pull through, and we're going to do another single crochet in that exact same hole, exact same stitch we just did. And that is an increase. So an increase is basically two single crochets in one hole. So the pattern for this round is single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase. 2 single crochets, 1 increase. And so we will do that now. I will finish this row and then show you the next part. Now, for your round 3 of the body, we are going to take the stitch marker out and we are going to do 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so you could go ahead and do 3 single crochets, and do not forget to mark that first stitch. Now we're going to do an increase in the next stitch. So 2 single crochets, obviously, as I said before, and the same hole. Okay, so we did 1, 2, 3, 3 single crochets with 1 increase. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing as we did before. So 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3 single crochets with 1 increase. And pull through 2. And we're going to do that the entire time around for the next 30 stitches, all around this. And as you can see, it is starting to curl upwards, which is exactly what we want. We like this. We want this. So keep it and let it curl up. Okay. I will come right back as soon as I finish doing 3 single crochets and 1 increase for the rest of this round. Alright. Now we are working on the staggering increases. Alright, so to do that, we are going to take the stitch marker out and we are going to do a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. Mark that first stitch you did, right? And now you are going to increase, do 1 increase. So 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets in the exact same hole. And now you're going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to do another increase. Alright, so you're going to do 4 single crochets, then 1 increase, 4 single crochets, increase, 4 single crochets, increase all around until we finish this round. Alright, here you can see that we have only 2 stitches left, meaning we cannot finish the 4 single crochets, 1 increase. So what we're just going to do is really simple. We're just going to do a single crochet in each stitch. Alright, so go ahead and do that. Alright, our new job is so simple. We're going to take our stitch marker out and we are going to do 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold on, and 5. Okay, now we're going to do 1 increase, again 2 single crochets put into the exact same hole. And if you're like me and you forgot to mark the stitch, the first stitch you did, go ahead and do that. 1, 2, and 3, and 5. Okay, so go ahead and do the 5 single crochets, 1 increase all around this row. Alright, now for the next part we are going to take the stitch marker out and then we are going, you can kind of see the octopus form its head, right? Okay, so you're going to do 3 single crochets, okay, after your 3 single crochets, you're going to mark that first stitch, alright, the first stitch you made out of 3. And then you are going to do an increase, 1 increase after the 3 single crochets you just made. Alright, after that increase you are going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one, 6. Alright, after those 6 stitches, you're going to do 1 increase. Alright? So, now the pattern for the rest of this row is going to be 6 single crochets and 1 increase. And you're going to leave the last 3. So you could go ahead and mark it if you want. I'm going to use one of my other hooks and I'm going to mark the 3rd stitch. Alright? So I'll do 6 stitches and 1 increase all the way around here and I'll stop over here. And then you could continue with the rest of the video. Alright? Now, you see here that I've reached my last 3 stitches. You're going to pop that out. And you're going to do normal single crochets in each of the 3 stitches. 2 and 3. 2. Alright? So obviously, oh wow, look at that! It is making the shape of a beautiful, beautiful little octopus. How exciting. Okay, now what we are going to do is take this stitch marker out and we are going to do 7 single crochets. So So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 crochets. Alright, so after those 7 single crochets, we are going to do 1 increase in the 8th stitch. Alright, so you're going to do 7 single crochets, 1 increase. Forgot to add the stitch marker, so you're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. You're gonna yarn over, pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and an increase again. Alright, we're going to do that over and over again until we finish this row. Alright? So let's finish this increase, then close the camera. Alright, now for the last row of staggering increases, we are going to take the stitch marker out and we are going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mark the first out of the 4 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so mark it, and then you're going to do 1 increase. So do an increase stitch. Now after those 4 stitches and the increase, you're going to do 8 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right now we're going to do an increase after the 8 stitches you just did. Okay, so now you're going to, goodness me, my hands are tired. But now we are going to do 8 single crochets, 1 increase, 8 single crochets, 1 increase, all around until the last 4 stitches. Now we are going to mark that first out of the 4 last stitches with a hook or anything you have lying around. I just stuck a hook. Now go ahead and continue the 8 single crochets and 1 increase until that hook or second stitch marker you've got. Alright, now you see I have reached the last 4. We are just going to place a single crochet in each of these leftover hooks. And yay, we have got our little bottom, you could say, the little staggering increases so far. Alright, goodness, we are getting it done. Alright, perfect. So, go ahead, take the stitch marker out, and now for the rest of the coming 10 rows, we are going to do a single crochet in each and every stitch we previously made. So you don't need to worry about how many single crochets you're going to put. You're just going to put one single crochet in each of these stitches for the next 10 rows, which is why you would want to mark that stitch just made. And you want to be able to move your stitch marker at least 9 or 10 times. Alright, so go ahead and finish adding a single crochet all around your octopus 10 times. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. Woohoo! Okay, now we have finished our head. Right, so go ahead and take a look at mine. Your head should also, hold on, we're gonna go ahead and pull a nice big loop like you did before and put your stitch marker through that. Alright, so now we've got our stitch marker through the last loop, and yeah. So you want your octopus head to be like bucket-sized, you could say. Yeah, bucket-sized, right? You want it to be a nice bucket. And it's perfect like that. You could go ahead and do that. And look at that, it's adorable. Amazing. Now you can go ahead and choose whichever way you want your front of the octopus to be. I think I want mine to be like that. Uh-oh, we're gonna have to do... Obviously you can do some little trims for your yarn later. The yarn I use, it leaves a lot of fluff around everywhere. So that's why I just have to cut it. Now I want my octopus to be this way. So it's perfect. I like it like that. Now, what you're going to want to do is get any sort of safety eyes. I use these. Oh, can you see? Anyway, I just use safety eyes. They are Loops and Cotton. That's the company. And I use 18mm or 0.7 inches big safety eyes. Now safety eyes, most safety eyes, I've seen a couple, come like this, right? So you would put your safety eye wherever you want it to go, and then put the back like that. So we're going to do that. We're going to go 5 rows from the top, down from the top, sorry. So we'll use our hook and point with that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to put our eye right there. Right? And we're going to put the back here as well. You know, you could also use buttons as eyes, safety eyes. And then you would want your other eye to be at least the distance between the first two legs. So you want it to go like here. Go ahead and make sure that is even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and under. So you want your eye to be the hole or the stitch row under the 5th. Go ahead, twist the eye on. And wow, we've got our 2 cute little octopus eyes set and ready. So, you could go ahead, if you'd like, you could go ahead and do the face with me, or you could do it at the end after everything, which I would strongly recommend doing it now. Alright? So, the next small things you're going to need are some black yarn, and some pink yarn. Pink yarn for the cheeks. You don't need to have pink yarn if you don't want it. And black yarn for the mouth. Alright. Now you could thread your yarn, although I prefer to just do it by hand. The first thing we're going to do is do our black yarn, so we are going to, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to make the face. Alright, so we've got our black yarn, and we are just going to add the smile from right there. So go ahead and add yarn so that you push it in from the inside. Now you want to just find a stitch next door and put the smile right there, so it looks like that. Obviously you could do some little adjustments if you want. I'm just making the thread even. And you don't want to pull it too tight, just do a little bit, obviously. So you can make it a frown or a happy face. Does not matter. Alright, so we've got our little happy face. And you could go ahead and knot it at the back. So let's flip it so that you can see. Hold on. Okay, so I've moved it close to the octopus so you can see. Just go ahead and knot it, and okay. Just go ahead and knot it, and then, oh my goodness, go ahead and knot it. However way you know. And if you want, you could trim the edges, although it's not going to show or make a difference. Alright, so now we are going to get our pink yarn, and we're just going to go a stitch below our safety eyes, and we're just going to pull it through like so. Then only half a stitch away, we are going to add other side of it. And bam! We've got one cheek, and you could go ahead and snip it. Then lightly tie the cheeks from the back. Alright, so now go ahead and do the same thing for the other eye. I mean cheek, sorry. Alright, so now we have finished our cheeky little octopus's face only. We have only got the face ready. That is the face. And so in a second, I will teach you how to do staggering decreases. Alright, so we have finished our face, and now we are starting our staggering decreases. So go ahead and grab your hook and your loop, and now take the stitch marker out, pull your hook through that hoop and pull it nice and tight. Alright, to do the staggering decreases, we are going to do a single crochet in the first 4 stitches. So 1, mark that first stitch with your stitch marker. And now do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, now we've got our first 4 single crochets. Now we're going to do an invisible decrease. So to do an invisible decrease, you're going to grab the first front loop of the first stitch and put that on your hook. Then you are going to get the second stitch's first loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Alright, so that is your invisible decrease. Now for all the stitches, you're going to do 8 single crochets. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3. Again, you could slow down the video, speed it up, however you'd like. I'm just going to do a speed that's comfortable for me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, so we've got our 8 single crochets. Now we're going to do 1 invisible decrease. So grab the front loop of the first and second stitches, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Now I want you to do 8 stitches, single crochets here, an invisible decrease, 8 single crochets, invisible decrease all around until we meet the stitch marker. Okay. And I forgot to mention that we are going to do that little pattern I told you until the last 4. So you could go ahead and get some random thing and count 1, 2, 3, 4, pull that through, and you're going to stop doing the pattern up till here. Now we have reached the fourth to last marker. So what you're going to want to do is take that out and go ahead and just do single crochets all until the rest. So 1, 2, and then the last single crochet. Pull through 2. Alright, so we have finished that little, hold on, let me zoom out. So we have gotten our little octopus and its first row of staggering decreases. Alright, so now for the next round, go ahead and take your stitch marker out and do 7 single crochets. And don't forget to mark that first stitch you just made. So 1, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And once you finish that last 7th single crochet, go ahead and do an invisible decrease. Yarn over, pull through first front loops, yarn over, pull through 2. Now go ahead and do that pattern until you finish the row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And again, do an invisible decrease and do that again until you finish your row. So just by doing those 2, we have gotten almost halfway across. Okay, so we have gotten this row complete. Now what we are going to do is we're going to take the stitch marker out, and we are going to do 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Mark that first stitch you made, and now do an, can you see? And now do an invisible decrease. So front loop and front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now for the rest of this round, you're going to do 6 single crochets and 1 invisible decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, crochets. Now 1 invisible decrease, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I want you to continue this little pattern we did. So 6 single crochet, 1 invisible decrease, 6 single crochet, 1 invisible decrease until the last 3. So again, you could go ahead and mark the last third last 1, 2, 3. So we've marked it and we'll know when to stop with the pattern. Alright, so now we have reached the last 3, so go ahead and take that little marker you had and put it away. And now just do single crochet until you reach the actual stitch marker. Great, so as you can see, hold on, let me put the camera at a better angle. As you can see, the little head of the octopus is sort of having a close, right? You see that? It's coming to a close. So sooner or later we're going to put the stuffing inside, and you could basically shape it after, and it will be amazing. Alright, for the next round of staggering decreases, we are going to do 5 single crochets. So 1 single crochet, mark that stitch, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, now we've got those 5 single crochets. We're going to do 1 invisible decrease. So get the front loop of the first 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through first front loops, yarn over, pull through 2. Now do 5 single crochets and 1 increase the entire time of the row. 2. And invisible decrease. Uh-oh. You know when you're making a new stitch and you lose the hoop? Yeah, I hate it. But you can always go back and fix it. So go ahead and do those 5 single crochets and 1 increase the entire time of the coming round. Or, sorry, of this round. Alright, so we have finished that row. Now what we're going to do is take the stitch marker out and do 2 single crochets. So 1, mark that stitch you just made. Hold on. Oh goodness, I can't even mark it. And then another single crochet for the second, and now an invisible decrease. Two. Alright, so now for the remainder of this round, you're going to do 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. And obviously hitting the camera is optional. Now you are going to do an invisible decrease. So, and you're going to do the 4 single crochets, 1 increase, 1 decrease the entire time until the last 2 stitches. So go ahead and, if you want, go ahead and mark that second last stitch with any sort of marker you've got. Like I am using a different crochet hook. So go ahead and, oops, again, hitting the camera is optional. Go ahead and do 4 single crochets and 1 increase the entire row until the last 2. Now, obviously, for the last 2 stitches, take that little second stitch marker you have and go ahead and do 2 single crochets for the last 2 stitches of this row. Alright, so we've got that, and now we have finished the row. Okay, now for this new row, we are going to do 3 single crochets and then a decrease. So 1, mark that stitch, 2, 3, and then the decrease. So 1, 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Now go ahead and do that until you finish the row. Alright, now for the last row, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 1, mark the first stitch, 1, and 2 single crochets. Oh goodness, keep hitting the camera. Now an invisible decrease, pull through 2 and pull through 2. Now keep doing that for a total of 18 stitches. So 1, 2, and invisible decrease. Alright, keep doing that for the entire row. Alright, now before this octopus starts getting the hole starts getting any smaller, you're going to make a nice big loop out of the yarn and put your stitch marker through so you don't lose it. That circle. And now you can go ahead and stuff your octopus. So, got stuffing and put it inside. And you want to leave this little part, with little to no stuffing inside. So go ahead and stuff it as much as you want, as much as you need. And depending on the size of your yarn, your octopus will be, will be. So if your yarn is small and thin, then your octopus will be small and thin. And if you're using yarn like mine, fluffy, thick yarn, then your octopus is going to be big and large. So it's going to take loads of yarn and loads of stuffing. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff this as much as I want, and I'll get back. Alright, so we have got, we have got all the stuffing we need inside our little octopus friend, and now what we are going to do is make him happy. Go ahead and grab your hook, and what I want you to do is take that stitch marker out and pop your hook back through that loop. Alright, let me adjust the camera so you can see what I want you to see. Okay, now you are going to, if you have a hole and you've stuffed your little octopus with stuffing to the top all the way, then what I want you to do is go ahead and do a single crochet and a decrease. So single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, if you have stuffed your octopus all the way to the top. Now if you're like me and you didn't, and you left some space, I want you to go ahead and, hold on, I have to adjust the camera again, I'm sorry. I want you to go ahead and fold your little creature's little head like that. Alright, so it's open like this, fold it inside like that, and then this little flap, fold it on top. Alright, and go ahead and single crochet that in to the head. Okay, I have changed the angle of it so you can see properly. So you're going to pull the loop nice and tight, and go ahead and single crochet that shut for 18 stitches. Alright, so now I'm on my final, what's it called, stitch. Final little thing. So as you can see, I've got a little tiny hole I can stick my hand through. But you don't want that, so we're going to just get our hook and skip one stitch and pull our hook through the top two, yarn over, pull through the first, yarn over, pull through two. Now if you want, you could get a needle, get your scissors and cut a weavable amount of yarn and snip it through. Now go ahead and pull that nice and tight so you could secure it. Alright, now I can put the hook away because that's no longer in use. Now if you want, you could thread this little tail in a needle and weave it through the second last row, or go ahead and freehand it like me. So we're just going to pop it in and out, our second to last row. And once you are complete with that, then you could snip off the excess and then you will be finished with your octopus. So I just gotta weave it in one more stitch. And once it's secured properly, you can go ahead and cut the remaining yarn away. So now we have got our little octopus, and hold on. We are complete. We have completed our little octopus, the top, face, and obviously all the little tiny legs. So now you have finished your octopus, and could go ahead and put it by your other stuffies. Thanks for watching Azan family. Go ahead and like and subscribe, press the bell notification for when we post new videos and when I post a new video about a new animal. Thank you. Bye bye.